And good morning. This is Andy Brookman with Coach Alex Surprenant of the McGill Redbirds. And this is the Red Zone Report, episode 8. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
So we're going to scrap our usual sort of timetable here for our little pod. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of minutes review of the previous game because you had the bye week this past weekend. We're going to do a couple of minutes preview of the coming homecoming game, the Shaughnessy Cup. And then we're going to go talk a little bit about homecoming weekend and the Grow the Nest campaign. So here we go. Last game was sitting there in the end zone, and life was good right up until the end of the third quarter or so. So the thing that struck me about that game was uh, missed opportunities. We had to put points on the board. Let's talk about that. We had an open wide receiver down the visitors sideline there. I think it was in the second
Yeah,
quarter, and we missed that one by just a few feet. We had a drop ball in the end zone that was
yeah,
sure 7 points. We had Elway's 50 plus yard run touchdown called back on a very late holding call. And then this sort of the fourth quarter kind of got away from us. Um, Talk a little bit about that game in terms of what you could clean up and moving forward to the last game of the year, what we can hopefully sort of turn around.
but for me, it's pretty simple. When you hope to try to beat a team like Laval, you have to be clutch on those type of plays. Like you cannot miss an open receiver running by himself downfield. You cannot drop a touchdown pass. You cannot take a bad holding on a explosive play. So I think that resumed the offensive day pretty well, where it took us a bit of time to get started, and then we had a good sequence where we were able to march down the field and create points and stuff like that. But it should have been more. And I think that if you fast forward to the mid fourth quarter where it's still 23-21 for Laval, if you had points there for us, if you had a 7 or a 10 or 14 points on our side, then we can maybe hope to have a tight hand of game where they had a couple of explosive runs in the fourth quarter where defensively we're not able to make a play on that fast running back, Mathieu West. So at the end of the day, I think that offensively we were just not clutch enough. We needed to do more defensively. I think the guys did a good job to keep us in the game as long as we were, and then suddenly the wheel fell off with the two explosive runs, as I mentioned. We were good enough to create turnovers, so one pick, one forced fumble, another forced fumble on special teams, which was huge. So we got to give some love to the special teams boys who are making plays. But at the end of the
And
day,
progress, plays in
Ab-
progress on the special teams.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and so at the end of the day, you need a clutch 60 minutes performance to beat Laval, which we were not able to do.
Yeah, can't make mistakes against the Rouge et Or. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the game coming up. Maybe not so much the game itself, but so it's Saturday, 1 p.m. at Molson Stadium, Shaughnessy Cup homecoming against the Stingers. Last time we played against Concordia, 27-19 loss. Talk a little bit about what you've learned this year about your squad and maybe a little bit about what we know now about Concordia and our sort of approach without going into details, of course, but your approach
Yeah,
coming into the game.
yeah. So for us, it was early. It was week 3, so it's been a while. That game. That's a game
Yeah.
where we basically gave them 17 points on 3 plays, which was the quick punt by Eloa. That was a totally muffed, totally shanked. We had a bus coverage that gave us like a 40 or 50 yards pass touchdown, and we got a block field goal too. So just those 3 plays are 17 points when you combine them together.
Yeah.
And for sure, beating any team in our league is going to be tough if you give the opponent team 17 points right off the bat, right? So I think that we moved the ball really well that day offensively, close to 500 yards or something. We were not able to clutch in the red zone, something that I think is better recently in the recent weeks. And now defensively, we had a good day because once again we gave 27 total, but then there's a 7 points that is basically the offensive fault and stuff like that. So it
Yeah.
was not a bad day defensively. Just that busted coverage in the second half that hurt us over there. So I think that as a team we're progressing. I think that our special teams are in a better position than they were 6 7 weeks ago. I think that for the rest, offensively, defensively, we have shown like our A game when we are on our A game, we are really tough to stop offensively. Defensively, we can create turnovers like anyone in the league right now, which is good. A lot of interceptions and forced fumbles and stuff like that. So we're gonna need a A game from everyone and hopefully for 60 minutes. And if we do that, I'm pretty confident that we can win this game. Concordia has a good team, especially on the defensive side. For me, I feel that those guys are veterans. The vast majority of the starters I coached with, I was with those guys a couple of years ago, and they're still there. So that defensive front, you see a lot of fourth-year guys, fifth-year guys, fifth-year linebacker, a couple of old defensive backs too. Maybe the defensive backs are probably the youngest group that they have defensively, but that's a pretty stout group, well coached by my friend Paul over there. And offensively, I think that. They had some ups and downs a bit like us, but they were able to finish the game really strong against Sherbrooke last week. Clutch win for them, especially in that second half where they were able to do a great comeback to end up winning against a good Sherbrooke team too.
Yeah. I can't wait. Can't wait. And okay, along that continuing along the lines of this weekend and what we got coming up, let's just go over a little bit about what homecoming is going to entail here. So tomorrow we're recording this Thursday morning, but Friday, October 24th, 11:30 to 2 p.m. at 1909 Taverne Moderne. We've got the 30th annual McGill Sports Hall of Fame luncheon. I'm just going to highlight a couple of the inductees because they're football players. We've got Dr. Donald Taylor, the class of 1966, who played both hockey and football. I mean, like Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders before there was those guys.
There you go.
Of course, without those skates. And Dr. Laurent Duvernay Tardif, of course, the class of 2018 with his doctorate. Perhaps our most accomplished football alumni in terms of football itself, winning the 2020 Super Bowl ring, of course. So that's tomorrow, Friday. On Saturday, big day. I'm down for all of it. So there's the Bailey brunch, 9:15 in the morning at Cat 4 Sherbrooke. There's the tailgate, which 11 o'clock outside. I believe it's outside of McGill Stadium, right? Is it right
Yeah,
outside the
yeah,
entrance there? Is that where it is?
yeah. So yeah, right outside the entrance, and of course there's the public park just beside. So that's a cool space to be. We're gonna have a couple of businesses like Barbecue Quebec, Monster, and a couple of business like that are gonna be there. I'm really excited about that tailgate. I've been the one pushing for that for a year and a half now. I think that's
Yeah, for
it's a new
sure.
trend. It's a new tradition that we need to build. We just witnessed Quebec City receiving the Carabin with more than 21,000 people in the stands. They have been building a huge tailgate tradition over there over years, so that's something we need to create happenings. We need to create events here, and in my opinion, we have an amazing setup to do that. It's just that it needed to start somewhere, and so Saturday morning is the first tailgate for a while, I think, here at McGill.
Yeah, fantastic. Like I know a lot of work has gone into it by a lot of people, yourself included, of course. Let's, don't just arrive at the game for 12:59 p.m. and walk into the stadium. Everyone get there early. Let's get the atmosphere going early at 11 o'clock tailgate. And then, of course, the Shaughnessy Cup game at 1 p.m., followed by a post-game party at Ye Old Orchard. Um, so that'll lead into our discussion about the Grow the Nest campaign, which is an initiative where we're going to start trying to raise $1 million to revamp and modernize the Redbirds football locker room area and elevate the overall student athlete experience with multiple initiatives there. So
Yeah.
it's going to be co-chaired by JP Darsh, the team's honorary president, and of course, former McGill linebacker. He played from 94 to 98, and he went on to play in both the NFL and CFL, and he's now the Kansas City Chiefs team physician. And he's co-chaired by John Cleghorn, of course, a member of McGill's 1960 national championship team and retired chairman of and CEO of Royal Bank of
Who
Canada.
will be at the Bailey brunch Saturday morning?
Yes,
So that's cool.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, talk to us a little bit about the Grow the Nest campaign, what it means to the squad, what it means for McGill in a larger sense, and what it means to you as head coach of the football team.
Yeah, so for us, of course, it's really important. That locker room has been there for now, I think, 30 years without any improvement. So for sure, when you
It was
go ahead.
renovated 4 years after I left. You should have seen the old one. I'm just gonna say. Okay, go. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I think that everyone agree in the building here that that area need a bit of love. So that's the plan here. When we with Vincent Gagné as a Fraser McGill president, we targeted a couple of gaps that we need to fill. I think that with Mr. Rabinovich a major donation earlier this year, we were able to fill the bursary gap where we can provide what we call AFA, athletic financial aid to student athletes, and now we can basically give as much money as anyone else in the country following youth sports regulations, which was not the case before. So that's one gap that we were able to check. Now another big gap was definitely that locker room space that need some love. One of the basic problem that we have right now, not only that it's old, it's not big enough, right? So I think that right now we have something like 80
Yeah.
lockers or something like that.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
got around like 95, 96 players on the team. U Sports rules allow you to have 110 on a team. It's 105 for RSCQ. It's going to be 100 next year, but still, we're definitely missing probably 20 lockers. So just that is a big
Hmm.
problem. It's not cool as a student athlete to be forced to share a locker with someone, right? So I guess what was true 30 years ago, because those numbers went up, right? Everyone
Yeah.
has more players on their teams now. So we would just need to adjust to that. And at the same time, I think we also want to have a space with new lockers that looks better. I often do the same joke when we have players visits here at McGill, where I say that there's two things that I cannot sell right now, and there's one that I cannot change. It's parking. Parking around McGill is always a challenge because we're
Welcome to
downtown, right?
downtown Montreal. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So as we see on the picture, it looks amazing,
Yeah.
but the parking
Yeah.
space
Yeah.
are limited. And the locker room is something that we cannot sell right now because it doesn't look good, to be really honest with you. So that's something that's another gap that we're really proud to attack. We've been working on this for months. We already have plans from an architect firm, and I want to say a big thank you to Monsieur Chevalier, the dad of one of our recruit this year that was gentle enough to help us for that. So plans are out there, like the estimation is already done, so we kind of have an idea of where we're going, and now we need the help from our alumni to be able to execute that plan as soon as possible.
Fantastic. All right. Well, big homecoming weekend. Let's get a big crowd out there. Good luck this weekend. Thanks for this, Coach. And for Friends of McGill Football, I'm Andy Brookman. That was Coach Alex, and go get them this weekend. Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Okay.